Something you'd never guess about me is that I love the Greek tragedies. Agamemnon and his family, Hippolytus, Phaedra and Theseus, and of course Oedipus, his father and mother. And the main themes of the Greek tragedies: love, loss, power, pride, and shame. Let's think about shame from the point of view of the Greek tragedies and consider where compassion might fit in. Shame was particularly important in Greek society. Heroism and honour were emphasised, while shame was deeply feared and was therefore a powerful motivator. Shame is often in the mix of the Greek tragedies. Agamemnon, driven by the fear of shame, sacrificed his own daughter to appease the gods and make the winds blow so he could sail to Troy, only to return a decade later to be murdered by his wife in revenge for the awful infanticide. Phaedra, fearing shame, accused her stepson Hippolytus of rape in order to conceal her incestuous love for him from her husband Theseus, only to die and lead to the death of Hippolytus as a result of Theseus's rage. And Oedipus blinded himself at the horror and shame of killing his own father and marrying his mother. Stories of the powerful and deadly consequences of shame, influencing the people of ancient Greece to be good citizens. One of the ancient Greek poets, Euripides, from the 5th century BC, was rather progressive in his work. He wrote the drama Hippolytus, but in another play now lost but referenced in other works, a character is to have said, "Nothing is shameful unless it seems that way to the person who does the act." This created outrage. Shame was seen as absolutely appropriate in the context of a dreadful deed. And shame has an evolved adaptive function after all. The shameless are often those who do the dreadful deeds in the service of their own greed, status, or power. The problem is that many of us experience shame when there is no act we've done, no choices or purposive actions for which we need feel shame. Instead, shame results from our appearance or body, experiences or upbringing, or our mistakes or misadventures, aspects of ourselves outside of our control. Shame often relates to a deep, intrinsic and yet often unnecessary sense of being no good. Perhaps there is wisdom in Euripides' quote. Euripides is known to emphasize compassion. For him, compassion required courage. It could be problematic, thwarted, abused, or even at odds with divine spite. But it was there and it was heroic. And often it was the antidote to shame. And here is the Exodus, the moral of our odyssey through the Greek tragedies. When we feel shame, we can try, and it's not easy, to bring compassion to it. We can try to connect to the ancient wisdom of the Greek poets, and perhaps Euripides in particular, and consider, how might I view this shame, this part of me or my experience that makes me feel ashamed, but from the point of view of compassion.